Good morning. My name is Patricia Mashale. I'm a former administration clerk in the South African Police Service in Free State. I blew the whistle on corruption in Free State subs and therefore suffered retaliation and immense occupational detriment. I joined SAPS on 1 August 2007 as administration clerk. I have a wide spectrum of experience across the visible policing environment, but when I blew the whistle, I have been working for the past 12 years in the firearm environment. The kind of corruption that I reported to the former National Commissioner of Police, General Ketla Sitole, entails nepotism, manipulation of statistics, gross corruption across the entire spectrum. And the bad thing is that senior managers was involved in this kind of corruption. The nepotism is actually the huge issue that I reported to the National Commissioner, together with misuse of state resources, abuse of powers, etc. I started blowing the whistle actually in 2009 when the current minister, Becky Cele, was still the National Commissioner. And the issues that I reported back then is actually similar to the issues that I reported now. The difference is that back then there was actually, I reported what happened in Free State subs to the former President Jacob Zuma, and he ordered an investigation into those allegations. The former ICD, which is now IPID, was appointed to investigate these allegations, and they found that all the allegations was true, and a report was submitted to the former National Commissioner Becky Cele for with recommendations that all persons implicated should be charged criminally. So what happened there is Becky Cele never implemented the recommendations of the ICD report. Instead, he retaliated against the IPID investigators, whereby the head of IPID, the former head of IPID, who was Mr. Francois Beekman, and the investigator was Mr. Dan Morema, was removed. Dan Morema was charged departmentally because he gave me a copy of the final investigation report, and all other persons that are implicated in this acts of corruption was actually elevated to higher positions. Some of them are no longer in the police anymore, and some of them are still in the police. So yes, I did start blowing the whistle on corruption back in 2009 when Becky Cele was still the National Commissioner. As I said, from there on, I decided that I am going to gather information and build a dossier with all the information that I had, and that's when I decided that that's 2021 that I'm going to report it to the former National Commissioner, since I was relatively close to him. He was the former Provincial Commissioner of Free State, and I trusted him. I trusted him because he actually always had an open door policy, and whenever there was an issue, I could call him directly or I could report to him directly. So when I had all this evidence, I called him, and he asked me to make the protected disclosure in a form of complaint, and email it to his office with all the supporting evidence, and that's what I did. A few months thereafter, let's say a month of 2 days after, I suffered enormous retaliation, where I was charged departmentally for misconduct, and the charges was that because I reported the Free State Provincial Management to the National Commissioner, who revealed my identity to the very persons that I reported to him, which included the Provincial Commissioner of Free State. He revealed my identity to them, and I was charged departmentally for misconduct, and the charges was I brought the police service into disrepute. So from there on, it was just a roller coaster run. And it came to such a point that I had to go in hiding in February of 2022. I never received any feedback from the former national commissioner. I wrote letters to Parliament. I wrote letters to the president, and I wrote letter to the Public Service Commission. And even the Human Rights Commission. The Human Rights Commission was the only institution that came to my, that assisted me, and they afforded me a whistleblower status. So in February of this year, I was informed by a colleague that he got information that one of the generals that I implicated in the corruption is planning to make me vanish or make me disappear by virtue of opening botched criminal charges against me, and then get me arrested in arranging with an officer at the Grootvlei Correctional Service to admit me at Grootvlei or to any other correctional facility, women correctional facility in Bloemfontein, but not register me on the system so that they can move me from Free State to another facility, but without any trace. I must not be registered on the system. So that a legal officer, a senior officer at Grootvlei, gave this colleague of mine this information and told me that I must go in hiding because my life is in danger. So I immediately went in hiding in February, and just 2 days after I went in hiding, this general indeed went to the police station, opened a case of perjury against me, and forced the detective to register the case on the system, although she advised him that he is not in the possession to open a case of perjury, since it's to the discretion of the court or a prosecutor in a trial, a running trial. He informed her that since he is a senior officer, since he's the general, that he is giving her instructions that she must open the case and she must get me arrested. So the information was then confirmed that indeed that was actually a planned hit on my life. So the investigation officer called me, and I informed her that I'm in hiding and I will only meet with her once I'm sure that my life is not at risk anymore. So she that's the feedback actually what she gave to them, that she cannot arrest me because I'm already in hiding. I have a whistleblower group. We call ourselves Whistleblower for Change. There's a lot of whistleblowers who blew the whistle on the state capture. We have whistleblowers like Martha Ngoyede, Cynthia Stimple, and we also have social workers like John Clark, who are supporting us, and Professor Merida Haas, who's also supporting us. And with the assistance of Professor Merida Haas, we managed to write a letter to the Portfolio Committee of Police seeking for my protection, since I was a certified whistleblower. The Portfolio of Police issued an instruction in writing to the Free State management to conduct a threat assessment on me. So Warrant Officer Masdorp was appointed to do the threat assessment. He called me while I was in hiding and told me that he was appointed. I didn't trust anything because I knew that it might be some of the people that I implicated who wanted to get to me. I asked the warrant to send me the appointment letter and he sent me all his appointment letter and the letter that the Portfolio Committee of Police issued with the instruction for my threat assessment. So I couldn't meet physically with Warrant Officer Mazur, but I gave him all the information that he needed telephonically until he had all the information and was able to complete his threat assessment. On submission of the threat assessment to his commander, he was instructed to change the content of the threat assessment because actually in the assessment he did implicate the subs management that they are indeed the threat against my life. They instructed him to change the context, on which he refused, and they also refused to submit the threat assessment like that to the portfolio committee. Warrant Officer Masdorp used his own discretion and emailed the threat assessment to the portfolio committee and also a copy to me, whereby he informed me what had transpired. His commander wanted him to reveal my whereabouts. He also had a voice recording where he recorded her, where she told him that if he is not going to comply to her instructions, that she was going to charge him departmentally. And they indeed charged him departmentally. He recently went to a departmental trial, whereby he is still waiting for the outcome of the trial. So the portfolio committee indeed received then the threat assessment from Warrant Officer Masdor, whereby the chairperson of the portfolio committee rejected the threat assessment, and her reason was it was not done on the correct pro forma. So yes, since then I've never received any assistance from the portfolio committee. I've never received any assistance from the office of the president. I've never received any assistance from anyone else, like I said, except for the Human Rights Commission, the CEO of the Human Rights Commission, former CEO, who was Advocate Tsidiso Tipanyana. And what happened also, after he afforded me whistleblower status, his contract was also not renewed. So all these things just happened, and I couldn't even find a link as to why are all these things happen. Why are all doors closed? Wherever I knocked, the doors are just being shut in my face. I really couldn't find a link. And I only recently realized that top government officials is actually implicated in my protected disclosures. It's like I didn't know it, but as I went along, I got more information on undocumented foreign nationals who were appointed in the South African Police Service. I got information that the provincial head of crime intelligence in Free State is also not a born South African. She's from Zimbabwe. I got information that the divisional commissioner of human resource management in the national office, Lieutenant General Dineo Nsia, was not born in South Africa. She's a Lesotho national. And I realized that this is much more than I anticipated, and I came to understand why all these doors were just shut in my face, and I came to realize that as long as I'm being silenced about this corruption, I'm going to be killed, or I'm going to stay in hiding forever. And I decided to go public with the information, whereby I contacted Lindiwe Mabena of SABC, and she did a documentary on my story, on the information that I gave her, which was aired on SABC. There was 3 episodes, and what I forgot to mention is that the subs management, one of the generals that I also implicated in the corruption, went to the family court and obtained a protection order against me to block me from revealing all this information in the public domain. So after the cutting edge programs was broadcasted, he instructed that I be arrested. So yeah, they couldn't exactly also arrest me because I was already in hiding by the time. But a huge number of police officers was sent to my house, and my little 11-year boy was there with my brother. And they were so afraid, even my brother, who is already an adult, they were so afraid of this huge number of police officers outside of the gate. They locked themselves inside the house, locked the gate, locked the doors. And my boy took this video from inside the house of these police officers who were there. Even the TRT was deployed to come to my house for this instruction to arrest because of the exposure of this corruption in the public. Meridas then again wrote a letter to Parliament to request them to investigate this incident because it was not the first time. Every time when there is a court appearance with this general for those protection order, there will be a huge number of police officers who were deployed to protect him. And we complained about misuse of state resources because this was not a SAPS matter, it was a private matter. He took out a protection order against me in his private capacity, but whenever he goes to court with his private lawyer, they will be protected by a huge number of police officers, up to a point when one of the magistrates also raised concerns about this issue, whereby she told us in court that she saw a huge number of police cars. She counted 11 police cars outside, and she asked why is there such a huge number of police officers, because even she felt threatened because there was even attempts to steal the docket from court. And then she had to take the docket to the magistrate court to be for safekeeping in her office. And yes, there's just one of the things that I reported in Free State is this misuse and abuse of state resources. So yes, and then things didn't get better because they still proceed to misuse the state resources, whereby I was also dismissed, so I didn't have any source of income anymore, while they used the state money to fight me so that I can stop exposing them. So I then decided that it's time for me to go absolutely public, and that's when I started to contact publications, media houses, to air my story out in the public. And this is where we are now. And like I said, there is people in high positions implicated, like your Minister Cele, because I also implicated Minister Cele because of this ICD report that he buried. I implicated the head of crime intelligence as a foreign national. I implicated the divisional commissioner of SAPS as a foreign national, and I went forward to implicate the IPID now. I am also implicated in IPID now because I complained to IPID, and then last year already I complained to IPID. They took almost 8 to 9 months to investigate this issue of the foreign nationals. I have a list of foreign nationals working in SAPS, being employed legally in SAPS. I don't know, I cannot even say legally because the documents they are using are not valid, and it was confirmed by into 2012 by Department of Home Affairs that all those ID numbers does not exist on the system of Home Affairs. I have proof of that. I gave iPad my proof. There's another one of my the people who gave iPad proof on Lieutenant General Nsia, and iPad just came out with a whitewash report to say they spent 500,000 to investigate this issue of the foreigners in SAPS, especially around General Nsia, and they found that no, there's no such thing, that she is indeed a South African citizen. My question around this was, why did they spend such a huge budget to go and to travel all over the country to determine the Nsia's country of origin, while they could have just requested a birth certificate from Nsia? She might maybe have a South African ID, but it doesn't mean she was born in South Africa. So why didn't they not just request a birth certificate from Nsia? Because they already contradicted them in the report by stating in the report that they went to two schools. The two schools that she indicated that she was a learner at, both schools refuted that claim and said she was never a learner at those schools. And then iPad went ahead in the report to say that, but she have a matric certificate from one of the schools. So how can that be possible where you have never been registered, or that school doesn't have a record of you being a learner, but here you sit with a matric certificate of one of the schools? So yes, I'm planning on also opening criminal charges against the investigator of iPad, because clearly he was covering up this whole thing of the foreign nationals in SAPS. So like I said, that up to today, the president have never responded to me in this matter. The only time when they responded to me was to refer me back to Bekekele, which I was surprising to me, since I implicated Kele in my protected disclosures, and I indicate to them that they cannot refer me back to the person that I actually complained about. So yes, I suspect there is more people high up who are implicated in this matter. I just don't know who else now, but since the president is so quiet on everything, I suspect that is very powerful people. So yes, what has to be done to stop corruption, especially in SAPS? With the Zondo Commission, SAPS was not really investigated. They only touched on a few issues of what is happening in crime intelligence with the unlawful appointments of family and friends, but they never actually investigated the entire SAPS. And to clean SAPS, there must be an independent body overseeing or accounting body where SAPS accounts, not like iPad, who must account to the same minister who are being implicated in acts of wrongdoing. So to start with, there must be a commission of inquiry into everything that I reported, and people's identities must be verified. And Sia's identity must be verified. Fingerprints must be taken to see that actually, is she really a generally Sia, or is she using someone else's identity? There's the starting point. And whistleblower safety in South Africa is like on a zero. I give it a zero, because whistleblowers does not enjoy any protection in South Africa. Look how many whistleblowers did we lose. I can say that I received support from whistleblower organizations abroad, who assisted me financially by assisting me to pay for my accommodation, because I cannot stay for long in one place. I had to move hurriedly from my hideout, which was paid for 3 months in advance, because there was another attempt on my life last week, whereby the car that I was traveling in was chased by a white Ford Ranger, and I could see these people mean business. They wanted to get next to us, and if it was not for my son-in-law, those people could have been shot us then there. I could have been dead. So the speeches around whistleblowers in attending funerals of whistleblowers in the president himself, this is just a farce. No one in South Africa cares about whistleblowers. Whistleblowers is not a priority in South Africa, and until something being done, until maybe the international community interfere, there's no future for whistleblowers in South Africa. I have first-hand experience. Here I am living in hiding since February. I cannot meet with my family. My life is in danger. The president have the power to stop this and to say that let her be afforded immediate protection. But now, even if the president can come to me now and say he wants to offer me protection, how am I going to trust that protection is going to be safe for me because of his long silence? How can I trust? Look what happened to Colonel Carl Kiena. He was killed and he was compromised by the very people who were supposed to protect him. So yes, even if the president can come now and offer me protection, I am not going to hand myself over on a silver platter to President Ramaphosa so that I can get killed and they will come afterwards and say, but they did afforded me protection and I got killed while I had government protection. So yes, this is my story, and hopefully, like I said, the international community will intervene. Whatever I revealed will go viral, and somehow the South African government will be held responsible because there is regulations and there's a law around the protection of whistleblowers. But still here I am. I lost my job. I was dismissed because I blew the whistle. I don't have money to pay for accommodation. I'm living underground like a criminal, a hunted criminal, and I'm enemy number one to the government. So yes, my plea out there for the international community is to intervene in this issue before I eventually lose my life, because those people means business. They don't want to be exposed, and clearly what I am exposing is much bigger than I anticipated. So yes, this is the story of Patricia Mashale, and yeah, I hope the story reach as many viewers as possible. Thank you very much.